Welcome to the Do the Impossible podcast. I'm Jason Drees. Don't forget to join me every Monday at 10 a.m. Central for my Monday Mindset Alignment Call. Don't start your week out of alignment. Go to MondayMindsetReset.com to sign up. On today's session, I'm talking to a fellow Gobundance member, fellow dad, fellow husband, lives up in the Pacific Northwest, firefighter, investor, doing lots of cool things. Justin, great to connect today.
Jason, thank you for having me on. I'm both excited and nervous to be here.
Excellent. Well, that's good. That's good. So I know that we've been talking a little bit about getting into coaching. You've been talking about some growth and expansion. There's the economy's doing some interesting things. So what should we focus on today? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think for me, I've spoke with you in the past, and I had told you you asked me questions that made me really think like, holy cow, I need a coach to help pull these things out of me. Like, what am I best at? Can you bring this out of me? Can you help get me there? And so for me, I think exactly that, like helping me feel confident and discover myself, my true potential. I think I need someone to hold my hand getting me there.
Okay. So understand the situation you're in. How can I help you on this call? What would you like coaching on?
On this call, I think for me, I have a lot of imposter syndrome. And I think I lack a little confidence. So I don't know if that's something that maybe we could focus on, or something that you would be able to help me with.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good place to talk about. Tell me more about where this comes up.
I don't know. I don't know why. I truly don't know why, but I love the health field. I'm very involved in it. I'm a 30-year diabetic. I'm very knowledgeable in it. And I've always had a desire to give this information to other people, like health related information. However, I never do, because I don't feel qualified. I don't feel I have the right certification or whatever that may be. So I just don't. I'm just quiet about it. And I don't know why I feel that way. I understand that a lot of people may not even know how to read a food label. And so there's probably a lot of information that I could deliver, but I have a confidence issue, as if I don't deserve to speak of it.
Okay. Do you want to speak about it?
Yes.
Okay. And is there anything preventing you from speaking about it right now?
Besides myself, there's nothing. It's just me feeling as if like who's going to want to listen to me? Who am I? Why, if I'm putting information out there, Jason, why would you believe me? Or why would I be the person that you should trust to give you that information?
Why would you be the person they would trust?
I feel that I've lived it my entire life, 31 years. I would say, as a type 1 diabetic, I've been immersed in health. I've had to pay attention. I have a strong desire to pay attention. I'm very self-studied. I implement a lot of exercise, diet, all of the new fun biohacking things. I do it all. So I essentially am a user of the product. And I feel I benefit from it. And so I would say I am my own case study. And so I'm qualified in that reason.
So if you didn't have this perception of lack of confidence, if you weren't having this experience of imposter syndrome or this experience of lack of confidence, what would you be doing?
I feel I would want to share more of what I'm doing in regards to care for myself and things that we can do at home and things that you can pay for. And my wife asked me this the other day because of a question that you asked me. And it was, if you could have anything and you were guaranteed not to fail, what would you want?
Mhm.
And I didn't know how to answer it for a while. And my wife goes, you always talk about having a wellness center, like for people to come to and enjoy all of these things. But what I don't want to be the one that's operating it. I don't want to have to go in there. I don't want to have to open it. I just want to share it. I want people to enjoy the benefits of it, but I don't want to be the one that is having to do the daily, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you would be now that could be down the road, right? To launch that. But right away, would you like be sharing on Facebook or social media what you're doing, talking to people?
Yeah, I've in the past I've thought about and occasionally there was a period of time where I was posting myself and my workouts and whatnot to Instagram, to just share with people. Like, this is a simple, hey, I bring my girls outside, they exercise with me, they play outside. I think this, I hope for them, I'm instilling good habits. And for me, I'm showing you guys that as a busy father, you can still get out there and you have the time for it. You can do these things. But you know what I kind of stopped, because I hate to say this, but I'll post something silly of my girls doing something and I'll get all these likes, right? And then I post my workout and you get like 4 or 5. And so I kind of got like, maybe people don't want to hear that. And so that's kind of where my confidence issue comes up. But ultimately I had a lot of desire in doing YouTube shorts or Instagram posts to just deliver small bites of information that people could go, oh yeah, I could do that. I can implement that into my life. That's pretty simple. I believe that lifestyle is medicine. Your lifestyle choices is medicine. And I want people to understand that, but I just kind of wussed out on being able to consistently deliver it.
Okay, so we can call that experience whatever you want to call it, right? But basically you went down that road, and that's kind of common, right? We start doing something new, we look for feedback. Is it working? We don't know. Maybe we get 1 like, 2 likes, and it's really hard to judge our progress based on social media response, because what makes social media work is like a mystery, right?
100%.
So, but there is a voice inside of you giving you guidance and direction and input. And there's also an excitement about doing this type of work. Now, would you do this type of work even if you didn't get paid?
Yeah. And I feel like I already am,
So, okay. So, and it sounds like I may be jumping in here a little bit, but I'm guessing one of the reasons you may have thought it wasn't working is because you may have thought you're supposed to make money from doing this and you're not sure how that goes. Is that something like that?
I would say that's part of it. Yes.
So that's one way we can actually start to kind of clutter things up, because there's an excitement and a desire, which tells me it's intuitive because it's exciting for you. And when you talk about it, you light up and there's a lot of information there. And so then there's the intuition side that's telling you, go do this. And then your brain's like, well, how do I monetize my time? And how can I do this? And they're like, well, we could do something impossible. We can build a center. So it's got a little bit of brain, a little bit of intuition, and I'm a professional coach. I've been coaching over 10 years. I dropped out of college. I'm not a certified coach at all. I'm not a BCC certified. IFC would probably not like my coaching side, the International Coach Federation, because I coach my own way, right? And there was a point early on in my coaching where we first started coaching and we first getting clients, and you're like, well, why would people listen to you? And this is when I was working for Tony Robbins, and I realized at that time I made a decision. I'm like, well, if you're going to be a coach, be a coach. And I realized that regardless of how much experience I had at that moment in time, life had brought me and this client together. So this client didn't get brought to me when I've been coaching for 10 years. This client got brought to me when I was like my first Robbins client. And, I could show up as best I could, or I could feel bad about myself having less experience and show up less than that. So I just made the decision that life brought us together for who I am now in this moment. And I'm going to do everything in my power to show up as best I can in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get more belief from certifications and validation. And it's much easier to believe it when you see it.
Yeah. 100%.
But the magic happens when you believe it when you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you actually started to take off of the mind-based ideas about monetizing it right now and what to do with it and how to do that, and you simply just started talking?
I love it. And you know, this is something I need to get over. And like you just said, I need to just start talking. But I think that there is the imposter syndrome and the fear that I need to get over.
Well, let's not give that too much energy.
Okay.
Because imposter syndrome means you don't think you are who you are.
Correct. Yeah.
So, which also means that your success, skill set, experience has outgrown your identity of yourself. You've created more success, more expertise than you think you should have, which to me sounds like a good thing.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting to me is being with my friends and being a part of different Go pods. I've been told over and over, like, you need to get into this space. You need to get into the health industry, into that. And I didn't know what that looked like. I don't know what it, I didn't know. You're right in that I was thinking of it from a monetary standpoint. Like, okay, so if I get into that space, how do I monetize it? And it's not the best way to do it, but I've received so many compliments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it is that the fear in me and the confidence in me outweighs the compliments and the comments that I've received from my peers that says, dude, when you talk about this, like, you light up, man. Like, you're much more excited about this than you are real estate.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I still go back to, but who am I? Because I do listen to a lot of, on paper, what look to be very qualified people. And so that's what I feel that I need. Right.
Yeah. And the belief part is a big part of the process of success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to become a firefighter, you had to believe in yourself to make that happen. There was hard things. To become a real estate investor, you had to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always this process of belief. And also, and this direction here is the most difficult one, because it's not a standard syntax.
Yeah.
Right. It's not firefighting. Oh, here's a model. Okay.
Yeah.
Real estate. Here's a model. You're going, your own brand has no model.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that emotion that you're facing is part of, it's not the roadblock. It's the side effects of the process.
Okay.
To turn you into the version of you that can go that way.
Mm-hmm.
So what if that imposter syndrome and lack of confidence that you have in this moment is never going to go away? Could you do it anyway?
Yeah, I think I could. I mean, just as I was nervous and to get on this podcast with you, you know, am I going to say the right things? Am I going to look okay? I'm still here. I showed up. I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Well, type 1 diabetes is challenging, right?
For sure.
And if you don't manage that correctly, you could die, right?
Yeah.
So is it possible that you sharing what you've learned over the past 30 years could transform and help people's lives?
100%. And I do feel that that's, I know a lot of people, and I hate to say this, you know, speaking for other people, but they use it as like well, I have this, so I can't do these things, or I may be limited, and for me, I'm here to say that that's not true. You do whatever the hell you want. You know, does it take special management, special care? Is it a little more difficult? 100%. But I'm doing it. You can do it.
What's the worst thing that can happen if you start talking?
I think the worst thing that would happen is someone may disagree with something that I'm saying, or they're, that's it. Like nothing beyond some sort of adverse comment or something like that. That's it.
Yeah. And so you get a hater, right? Right.
Yeah. You know,
And
sorry. You know what, this is kind of, this is interesting to me. I'm also, I have said a lot like, oh, I don't care what people think. And you say that, but what I'm fearful of is the same reason I was fearful of stepping on here with you is, what are you going to think on the backside? Are you going to be like, man, Justin was an idiot? I'll never know if you think that, right? Unless you directly tell me. But I think there's some of that I have fear of when I put something out there, someone very well could say, you're wrong, or that's dumb, or whatever it is, and it could hurt my feelings. But more than that, I'm worried that the mass of people that are watching me might go, that kid's an idiot.
well,
It's silly, right?
that's what it feels like. Well, emotions are silly, right? And you know, how many likes did you get on the last post you did? Like,
Yes, a couple.
it's funny, we think the world's going to see us, right? And I remember
Yeah.
this time when Brandon Turner and I started to do more and more work together, and it was on YouTube, and I was reading his YouTube comments of the session we did, and somebody's like, these things he does with his coach Jason are the worst content he creates, and I was like, oh, and I was so sad. And then a few minutes, and then after about 20 minutes, I realized, I was like, wait a second, I'm big enough to have a hater, right? Because most likely people won't even see you.
That's a great transition to the way of thinking of it. Yeah.
And so if you're getting haters, you're big enough to be seen.
There you go.
And usually I've yet to find a hater that's doing better than me.
That's a good point.
Right. So is there a hater that's doing better than you? Probably not. Right. I think I heard Jordan Peterson say that the other day. There's never a hater that's doing better than you.
I have to keep that one in my mind there. I like that.
And then sometimes people will say, Jason's a quack. This stuff doesn't work. Life coaching stupid. And I'll tell you, but the amount of people that thank me for the work I've done, I've accepted that. I'll take the heat from the haters because my job is to help those people that actually want to hear me.
Yeah. That's I know you talk a lot about mindset, and I really believe in it. And I know it's harder to change than you'd think, but I suppose a better way to think of it would be exactly what you just said, in the sense that anybody who's going to take the time to hate on you, you're probably in a better position than them anyways. And, or maybe it's something that's legitimate and I'll learn something. Or other than that, like you said, if I'm helping a handful of people that are in a similar situation than me, that's all the benefit that I need. So those hateful comments don't mean a darn thing, right?
Yeah. And it's also an exercise to give ourselves more validation. Mm-hmm. Because the only reason that people validate other people's input more than their own is because they're not giving themselves the input they need, or the acknowledgement. Because if you, let's just say, for example, you loved yourself unconditionally and everything about you, and accepted everything there is about you, would anything anyone external said matter about how you feel about you?
Not at all.
So that's also part of the process as well. It's almost like you're living your life. I'm living my life. I'm doing what I'm excited to do. And if it's exciting, that means life wants me to do it. I'm going to put it out there as best I can. When I get more input, I will change. Some people will like it. Some people won't. Some people see it. Some people don't. So the solution here is to change your mindset about this process. Mm-hmm. Because you've been attempting to solve and you're getting stopped by your mindset about this process, because the mindset that you had about this process was imposter syndrome, lack of confidence, and that was shutting you down. Change that mindset about this process, and then you'll start moving again.
I love it. And and I think too, it's when you combine the the confidence and that feeling of who am I to be delivering this? And then also feeling like not having a well-structured like plan for what I'm going to deliver. It's a kind of a nasty combination to just say, just don't do it. But as you said, 10, 12 minutes ago, maybe you need to just start talking. And then as I start to get feedback, whether it be good or bad, or as I start to learn things, you can adapt and grow and change and maybe narrow your niche or your focus or whatever that may be. Mm-hmm. I do feel like I have been just sitting there wanting to do these things and kind of putting it out there and then being like, nah, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. As you're walking into the unknown, mm-hmm. Walking in firefighting, your career is not unknown. That's known. You know what it is. You know how to do it. Even real estate, yeah. Even if you went to go to do a different type of deal, the basic structure, that's known. Mm-hmm. When you're an unknown, you can't plan your way in the unknown, because moving into the unknown is more it's more of a process of discovery.
Yeah.
So you only get one step at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why my intuition is saying the first step for you is to just start talking.
No, you're right. You're right. It's great. It's very simple.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe excitement's your guide.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. I never looked at it in that light, in regards to, just getting out there and as far as your likes and your comments, or, you gotta think about the people that you may be helping and worry about the development along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You can also choose to believe that if I'm feeling imposter syndrome, I'm on the right path because it's something big.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. So for you, not having all of your coaching certificates and all of that, did you ever have the fear of well, what if this really qualified coach, whoever that may be, comes and shoots me down because of that feeling of being that imposter thing? Like, who am I? I'm Jason Drees. I don't have the qualifications.
The coach that asked me the question, have you ever thought about being a coach, also shot me down multiple times.
Okay.
In ways that I didn't think were appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And actually caused some major challenges for me to recover from. And I've since blown past that coach.
Okay. Okay.
So, but at the time, that person was doing the best they knew how. So that was part of my process. Mm-hmm. I just knew I was going in this direction and I wanted to do this, and I didn't have another income. So I'm like, I'm going to make this work. Okay. And then I didn't like what they said, I just stopped listening to them. I think I've had clients before ask about certifications, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any certifications. Mm-hmm. And if they want, then if I'm not for them, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, and I never even thought about asking for yours, because for me, listening to the stuff you've already delivered and seeing some of the clientele that you have, I'm like, it's right there. I don't need it. I already like what he's saying. So that's for me, that's a great thing to think about is I didn't ask it of you, because talking to you, I already felt that you were qualified, and seeing who you were helping already, I'm like, what certification do I need? You could have a certification, right? But maybe you don't have the success that you have had, or maybe I wasn't liking what you were saying. Yeah. We probably wouldn't be having this conversation regardless of your certification if I didn't align with what you were saying or who you were already coaching.
Yeah. True. Yep.
I like it.
Awesome. So Justin, you good?
Yeah, honestly, in 30 minutes, those nuggets, it does make me, is it going to be, any less scary or anything like that? Probably not. But do I have a different way of looking at it? I 100% do. Yeah. And I think you're right.
Yeah.
I know you're right.
Well, let's clean it up a little bit. So repeat after me. I take full ownership of the reality.
Take full ownership of the reality
where I smile
and
welcome imposter syndrome.
Welcome imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome.
And any experience
of
lack of confidence. Because it means I've created more success. Than I think I should have. Which is a great thing. I'll take that all day long. Because anytime imposter syndrome comes up, it might just mean I'm on the verge of a next big uplift. To level up again. Which is a good thing. So if I ever feel the experience of imposter syndrome, I command my subconscious mind to automatically take 3 deep breaths and relax and remind myself that I've got this. And I'm doing important work. And life is giving me this tap on the shoulder. Because it wants my attention. This is a fact. How's that feel?
It feels good.
Awesome. Excellent. All right, Justin, it was great to connect with you today.
It was. I'm excited to be here, and I appreciate your time.
You're welcome, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Do the Impossible podcast. I'm Jason Drees. To get your own experience of coaching, go to freeintrosession.com, and my team will give you a complimentary 30-minute introductory coaching session. Until the next episode, take care. I'm Jason Drees. Bye-bye.